Right. You don't like whiskey. You don't love it. You know who loves it? Me.
Right.
Who drinks it at fucking 8 a.m. on a plane.
Yes.
To go disappear. I love whiskey. You don't fucking love it. You're flirting with it. You're finger whiskey. I raw dog whiskey and come inside it and hope to get it pregnant.
100%. You get HPV from whiskey.
And I want it.
And you want it. And that's the difference.
And I want it because I know now we're committed, and that now that we both have HPV, we're going to have that conversation with other drinks.
That's the... Yes.
Attention all cheese eaters. Tops Off World Tour kicks off November 15th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Nashville, Little Rock, Springfield, Philadelphia, Norfolk, Winston-Salem, Fairfax, Roanoke, Rochester, Worcester, Newark, Providence, and Albany, New York, December 10th. God damn, my skin's gone sideways.
Your skin looks good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. My daughter doesn't like my I lost weight in my face.
Yeah.
And my daughter doesn't like it.
See, the thing is with you, anytime you lose weight, people are like, his liver's gone. they're like he's diseased. You know?
It's the exact opposite, sadly.
I know, that's the thing. It's like they just with, you know.
Do you remember when Chandler got fat on Friends?
Yes.
That was liver.
That was liver.
That was liver. That was him. When your liver goes, you get bloated.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much.
I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah.
How about the fucking guy from Smashmouth dying?
Did he die?
From liver failure.
I saw yesterday that he they said days left, but now he's dead.
No, he's dead.
Fuck.
A party with him. You want to hear a cool fucking moment? I was in Connecticut. I was doing the fucking, I'm sure it was Hartford, Funny Bone.
Yeah, what else could it be?
Yeah. Man, I thought that town would be different when I first heard of it. And then I went there.
Yeah, I was like, I know when I first went there, they were like, oh, this is where Mark Twain grew up. I was like, not recently. I mean, this Mark Twain, I don't think he would have decided to grow up here.
He ran to the closest river. I was like, get me the fuck
out of here, dude. I was like, oh, yeah. I've never seen, like a historical American's house like that, just right next to a check cashing place.
As soon as I heard Aaron Hernandez grew up there, I was like, that makes more sense. That makes total fucking sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I was Mark. Yeah, he like wrote all these poems and shit, Mark Twain, because he couldn't go outside of his house because he would be shot.
They had Puerto Ricans even then.
I know. Jasmine, my girl, she was like, "Oh, I have family in Hartford." I was like, "I bet you do."
I was doing a show there, and so was Smashmouth.
Oh. Right. R.I.P.
This is 12 years ago.
Okay.
This is 12 years ago. And there was a fire alarm in the middle of the night. And so I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and by the way, I had a flight the next day, and I was like, I'm gonna get some rest. One of the few times I was like, I'm gonna tap out, get some rest. Fire alarm goes off. Everyone's in the front, like standing in the parking lot. And dude from Smashmouth comes up and he's like, Steven, he's like, yo, what's up? I was like, hey. And he goes, Smashmouth. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, I'm a fan. And I was like, oh, thanks. And by the way, I was just doing Travel Channel then. But I think we had worked on a TV show together, Sidebar.
Right.
And he's like, you want to go to the bar after this? I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
So me and him go up to the bar and he's like, there's a wedding here. I was like, yeah. He's like, you want to crash it? I was like, you think we can? He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you're on TV. I'm the lead singer of Smashmouth. I'm pretty sure we can.
Yeah.
So some of the guys came over and we crashed a wedding. We were in our pajamas.
Yeah.
And we partied until like fucking 4 in the morning with this wedding. Fucking rolled straight from the airport out of this wedding. And that night, some girl pulled me aside and goes, have you heard of Instagram? And I said, no. She said, you need to be on Instagram. And I signed up for Instagram that night.
Wow.
And yeah, and my first picture on Instagram was me and him at a wedding.
Really? In Hartford?
In Hartford. It was me and him.
Yeah, you guys were the only white people there.
You know, one guy was covered. It's funny, the dudes that I remember the people that I met that night.
Yeah.
It was all the first people I followed. So there was the only people I knew on Instagram. But it sucks when you hear about someone having liver failure. Because this is like, no joke. This is like my third person I've heard of liver failure with.
Right. And it comes out of nowhere, It doesn't come out of nowhere, but it's not like, the guy from Smashmouth, he was fine, probably 3 months ago, and then boom, they're like, it's gone.
Apparently with him, not. With him, he had a lot of health issues.
Oh, he did?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of canaries that show up in that mine first.
Right.
Dude, my fraternity, during COVID, just chick leaves him, and he's like, fuck this.
Right.
Drink when you wake up. That's the key. you don't give yourself any recovery.
Yeah, right.
And that's, I guess.
Yeah, recovery is everything. I mean, I think like now I'm 39 now, so now it's like I'm at a point where I'm like, I work out, I do it, but I'm like, you got to have days to recover. Even my eating, like I'm into like the intermittent fasting, and it's not even so much like losing weight or whatever. It's just like I know that I was eating like every 3 hours for 30 years. It's like you can't do that. You have to give your gut breaks, just like you got to give your liver breaks.
They say that you know, look, you know, part of me is really glad I'm friends with Joe because you hear all the stuff first.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're the first person. But when you're the first person to hear shit, it's like with the vaccines, like Joe's the first person being like, don't get vaccinated. Now, I kind of wish I hadn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I got like doctors. I have a couple of friends who are doctors who are like, you know, we're very like vaccine guys, very serious about health. It's not even with a Republican, Democrat. They're in the middle. They're like, hell, they all, two guys have been like, do not get any more boosters. If they come out and start mandating that stuff, do not get it. The only problems we see with young people are heart-related issues from too many boosters. Oh, that's all. He's like, so, and he's, again, not a guy, he's not a conspiracy guy. No, he's a regular guy, doesn't listen to podcasts. He's like, I'm just a doctor. I'm telling you, I see people coming in with heart defects that were relatively healthy. The only thing that they have in common is 3 or 4 boosters.
I got all of them.
Yeah, just went crazy.
I got them. Listen, I had to speak Spanish to get one of them.
Really?
Like, fucking go in like, oh yeah. I had a mask on and everything.
Listen,
I was like,
the thing, but the rules don't really apply to you. Go hard or go home. That's how you are. You go hard or go home.
You're gonna die one day. You can't stop that.
You cannot stop that. And the thing is with you is I just worry if you just stop things cold turkey, that's when your body turns around and goes, what? Ay Dios mío.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
My body has such a, you know, it's crazy. I stopped drinking for 5 days and I lost like 14 pounds in 5 days.
That's pretty fucking nuts. That's pretty nuts. Wow. That's wild.
My blood pressure dropped so low they had to change my medication.
Oh my God.
Like, all right, man.
It's like you stop drinking so much, you turn into like you're like a Native American woman now. Like you change genders, you change races. Like you're not actually this guy.
I wonder, you know, everyone, it's up my ass. There's not a human I've met that hasn't said like, you need to quit drinking forever. Like that's the mandate.
Right.
And I'm like Huberman was here with me and Tom. We were doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to stop drinking. And I'm like, is that like when, okay, you are, let's go to your expertise. You are a clinical physical therapist.
Yes.
So what is the fucking goal with exercise and fitness and weight loss? Like, do you want to be Bren Greenfeld or Peter Attia, like where you're jacked and ripped and you have such a regimented scale? Do you want to be Jocko, where you sleep 3.5 hours every day and you do morning salutations and get up and you go, or I don't know what he does, but you know what I'm saying? Like where you have such a regimented schedule. Do you want that? Or the other side, Stanhope, right? Who probably gets restful sleep. I think he eats pills to sleep. And so, and like,
I mean, a guy lives in a bus in the desert in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know?
So
he's the opposite.
Yeah. So what's the fucking, like, I don't want to be one of those guys. I never want to be one of those guys that goes, hey, I run into these fucking cunts in Hollywood all the time. Well, I love my whiskey. And then you're like, do you? And they're like, moo, yeah. And then you have a drink of whiskey with them and they don't finish it.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, you don't love your whiskey, man.
No, you don't.
That's a brand for you. You heard that men like whiskey, so now you have whiskey next to you. You don't like whiskey. You don't love it. You know who loves it? Me.
Right.
Who drinks it at fucking 8 a.m. on a plane.
Yes.
To go disappear. I love whiskey. You don't fucking love it. You're flirting with it. You're finger fucking whiskey. I raw dog whiskey and come inside it and hope to get it pregnant.
100%. You get HPV from whiskey.
And I want it.
And you want it. And that's the difference.
And I want it because I know now we're committed, and that now that we both have HPV, we're going to have that conversation with other drinks.
That's the, yes. And I think the thing too is you love something. You're passionate about it.
I love everything.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? I don't like people who don't say I don't like people who use love flippantly. Like I love, like when I hang up with Rogan, I say I love you every time on the phone to him.
Sure.
I do. And he does to me. And we do it because that guy changed my fucking life.
Sure.
That guy means so much to me. that I'm a ride or die for him. When he got in trouble for the thing, first thing I do is I put a post. I say it to my friends. I mean it to my friends. I say it to my wife. I mean it to my wife. And I mean it to alcohol. Like, I love alcohol. I love marijuana. I love cigars. I love working out. I do. But like,
so then why would you stop any of it? It's your life to live. The thing is like with people, like everything, you know, nothing in excess, everything in moderation, right? So it's like everything is poison or medicine. It just depends on the dosage. So it's like if your numbers are healthy, if everything's healthy and you said your blood pressure's down, your cholesterol's down, you're feeling good, you're feeling healthy, then do what you got to do. I mean, doctors are going to tell you, but it's like, what do you want? Do you want to live another 10 years and deprive yourself of something you love? Or would you rather just go out hard, doing what you love, living life to the fullest? Yeah. Nobody wants, you know, like,
I don't want to be the dude. I don't want to be Steve Harwell.
Who's that?
The guy from
Smashmouth. Yeah.
I don't want to be him who at 56, they're like, yo, we're going to put you in hospice. You fucked up.
But you would have indicators that that's happening.
I would. I definitely would. I think at this point in my life, you know, I think you would. I would hope you would. I don't know. You know, like I sometimes I'm going to get I've got a full body scan where you do the lungs and all the organs and you go and like they found a lump on my kidney. And I was like, and I was freaked out. And they're like, oh, it's. I think you've had it your whole life. It's been there. We've noticed it before. But
they're like, it's a bottle cap.
Yeah. but they're like, how fast do you drink?
I don't know, man. Birdie boy's a different speed.
Like, what's your thing? Like, what's the thing that's going to put you in the grave early?
Cake. I would say sweets, muffin. I would say
for real
toasted chocolate chip muffins with butter. That's mostly what's going to put me. I am a guy. The way you love alcohol is I love cakes and sweets. And there's arguments to be made. My drug is worse than yours. Alcohol's got a bad, you know, can cause problems as long as you're not operating heavy machinery. It's like I might be getting more damage done. Diabetes might kill me faster than alcohol would kill you. It's possible. So I try to limit it now, and I only try to do it on Saturdays. Saturdays are for the sweets. That's like my mantra. Really? But at 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings, typically what I try to do is get a good workout in, go as hard as I can. The best workout of the week I try is Saturdays. And then my girl, Jazz, at home knows she will have 3 chocolate chip muffins toasted with butter waiting for me from the gym. And I eat those things. The kids don't get them. It's my time to eat the muffins. And I eat them, and I get spiritual with them. And obviously then I have to nap after that. And yet, you know, I've had to get, since I started doing the Saturdays for the sweets, I've had to get 2 teeth removed because of the cavities that because I am hitting it. I'm hitting my body with 1,000 grams of sugar in 15 minutes.
Oh,
but then I try to limit it, but then I don't do it again until Saturday. So but as opposed to what I used to be doing was every single day I had dessert with every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd have some type of sweet, cakes, cannolis, muffins, addicted to the sugar like you can't imagine.
Really?
And I was like, I have to stop this. And so so I limit everything with me now is I live the same life, except I have little windows of when I eat it, and then windows when I'm not, and then windows of being not eating and drinking, you know, just having water and black coffee, exercise, and then the windows when I eat, I go hard. And that's how it is. And so I've lost like 40 pounds doing it this way, and all my numbers have come down. And I'm like, this is sustainable to do it this way. With drinking, I know it's different because you do it at night, you do it after shows. It's a different thing.
But you know what? With drinking, it's a little bit of it's less than sweets, because I would say that, like, I have a thing when I have, like, especially if I have my mouth's watering. When I do sheet cakes and there's a lot of icing on the top, and it gets on the roof of your mouth and your mouth tingles, and your eyes go back in your head like a shark, and you start biting onto the table because you get confused. Like, I fucking
love it.
And alcohol doesn't give me that. Like, it doesn't. Alcohol gives me like a
right.
But you know, I don't. And I've been trying to quantify my happiness journal. I write in it things that make me happy, things that don't make me happy. One of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm focusing just on alcohol. Like, what makes me happy about alcohol? The thing that doesn't make me happy about alcohol is I wonder if you feel this way about sweets, is the ownership it has over me at times when I when I'm not drinking that I realize I don't need a drink. Like, I'll give you an example. Dane Cook had a premiere.
Okay.
And for a movie or a TV thing. And he invited us and we went and I wasn't drinking. I'm not drinking right now. And they had an open bar. But it closed as soon as the doors closed. We had to sit in there. Now, if I was drinking, that would fuck me up. Because I go, how many drinks do I get? Leanne? I'm going to make Leanne get 2. I'm going to get 2 so I can drink throughout this. But when you're not drinking, I actually don't even think of it. I just go, let's go watch a movie. But if I'm drinking, I go, I want to have drinks. I want to enjoy this. I'm going to have drinks throughout it.
Right.
But when I'm not drinking, that's cut off. Went to dinner with my daughter and my wife and my other daughter the other night. And I'm not drinking, so I didn't think about whether they were serving alcohol, what time cut off. I didn't think about any of that.
Right.
And I also didn't think I'm going to go downstairs. Now, I was wondering, I wonder if I should get high before dinner because I want to have a steak. I'd love to get a steak and get high. But I didn't have time to get high, so I didn't think. I go, well, it's not, I don't have time. It's fine. I won't. But if I was drinking, I would have been like, I would have gotten dressed. They were all getting dressed. I know I was sitting in the room. I was like, I'm going to go down to the bar downstairs, have a martini. I would have done that. Right. So in a weird way, you're a slave to the alcohol.
Right. I think that it seems like to both of us, similarly, alcohol and sweets, it's like a form of resistance too. Like it's I would put like same thing with like women, guys, people do it with women or, you know, having sex. It's like, it's all resistance. It's all me putting my time and energy into food, into girls, into everything else, because I don't want to do the actual work on myself. I don't want to write. I don't want to get better. I don't want to deal with this. So you have all these resistance things up. So I'm not saying, you know, we're conquering it, but like even you, the power of not drinking for 5 days. I mean, think about how crazy that is with how much, you know, like you said, control sometimes you give it. 5 days is huge. What was the catalyst for 5 days ago? What was there something you like?
It wasn't even 5 days. I haven't had sugar, alcohol, diet drinks. I've had a carb. I haven't had a carb.
You look phenomenal.
35 days.
It was there a wake up call, or was it just said, I just don't want to do this? Were you I
was on fully loaded, and I was like, I was going way too hard, and I stood on the scale. I always stand on the scale quick. I do a quick one with my hands on the thing, and judge where it is. And if I like where it looks with my hands, and I let go. But if I don't like where it was so bad, I switched it over to kilograms.
Really?
And I was like, I don't even want to know in pounds.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I can do kilograms. That's not that bad. And I was like, cool. And I don't know, whatever it was. I'm going to guess 228 kilograms. And I was like, 128. And I was like, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the math, and I was like, I think that's 270 pounds. And then I was like, fuck.
Right.
And then I didn't. I just like, I'm going to keep it in kilograms. And then I saw on my phone, it translated over to pounds, and it was 270. And I was like, fuck, I have the Withings scale.
Yeah.
And I was like, motherfucker, 270 is the fattest I've ever been.
Right.
And I had Matt Mitrione one time told me I was 270 pounds. And I told him he was wrong. And he goes, buddy, I'm looking at you.
Right.
You're 270 pounds.
Right.
And I go, I'm 263. And he goes, did you get on the scale today?
Right.
There have been times you didn't get on the scale. That's when you're 270 or 270 right now. And I thought he was out of his fucking mind. And there I was, 270. I was like, that's it. I will not be the guy who's 270 pounds. I started a cleanse that day.
Good.
And then I decided, I talked to my doctor about ketosis, and a few people, Rogan, namely. And I've been in ketosis. I haven't had a sugar. There's a thing called the 75 Hard. Have you heard of it?
No.
Can you pull up 75 Hard?
No, I've only heard of the band, the 1975.
Dude,
my favorite band of all time.
Up.
I love them.
You know that guy's dating Taylor Swift now.
I was going to say, well, him dating Taylor Swift was more than me, but yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I never heard of the 1975, but I was born in 1972.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There you go.
My sister was born in 1975.
Yeah.
I downloaded their fucking album because of you.
Really?
And
do you like their music?
No, I haven't listened to it.
Okay.
I just downloaded it.
Yeah. They're like Smashmouth.
Well, no, I downloaded it because I was like, fuck yeah, 1975, because the guy wasn't a fan
if this
of
was
yours.
my book, I would put 19 in front of the 75 and then makes me after it. The 1975 makes me hard. That would be my book. So the 75, a tactical guide to winning the war with yourself. Is this about diet or is this about mind?
This is about mentality.
Got good legs.
Thank you.
You always have. By the way, you never, even when you were 270, I would say you were proportionate 270. No one's ever looked at Bert and said he's fat. People have been like, he's a big guy, he likes to party, likes to live life. I would say.
Rachel, I'm sorry, Rachel, were you laughing?
No.
Yeah. I heard Rachel go.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Rachel? You're fat.
Rachel's Instagram is salami body, and I sat with my daughters trying to figure out how you got salami body.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, that would be the great Instagram name for you, salami body. Rachel, no, you're very proportionate, and I would always say, like, you look like a kind of guy who's enjoying the experience. That's what I would describe your weight as. He's enjoying the experience. Where some people look genuinely fat, like you're a fucking slob. Fat. I've been there before. I've looked.
I never thought you were fat.
No,
Even
no,
when you said you were fat, I never thought you were fat.
But you know what it is? When you, the thing would happen with me is the problem with me is, see, you take your shirt off. We know what we're going to get. We know we're going to get a big burly guy. Yeah. You know, it's going to have a beer gut, but you look like a man. You're a fucking man, dude. You're like, we get it, right? With me, the problem would be women or guys, whatever, be like, oh, dude, you must be so jacked. And then I take off my shirt and my tits are going right and left. I have a sloppy body. I've told you this before. I took off my shirt once in an audition, and a casting director said, he went like this. I took it off and he goes, wow. And I was like, it's not good, right? He goes, it's not good. And I was like, and he was like, here's the thing. I'm not body shaming you. The reason why it's not good is because you're just not castable at all. He's like, because you have, because he goes, you have leading man face, best friend body. So he was like, you got the body of the best friend, but the face, the leading man. So no, you're going to either have to match. You're going to have to either get really fat and go full best friend, or you're going to have to try to get ripped. And then, you know, of course, I left that place. Was like, I'm going to get ripped. This is the start of it all. And I went to McDonald's, you know, and I had a Butterfinger McFlurry, and I think I ate part of it with my hands on the F train going home, because I used to let food dictate my food and the feelings. And now with the fasting, with going long, sometimes I'll go like a 24-hour fast. I've done all the way up to 48, which I know guys have done 72, 96, but for me, 48 is a long time.
48 is a very long time.
48 hours is a long time, because I'm like, I can do this. And now when I don't eat for 16 to 18 hours, I'm like, I'm really not hungry. Once I found out, I think it was, you know, I love Dr. Peter Attia. He's the one.
He's a fucking gangster. Dude, all he had to say is that he swam from Maui to fucking the Big Island.
Yes.
That's it. I listen to every, dude, if you can do the shit that guy's done, I'll listen to everything you say. I heard that like 8 years ago, and I still listen to that dude. He's all over this. The fasting app I use is called Zero, intermittent fasting app. I'm downloading it right now.
Dr. Peter Attia is all over that. You know, a lot of people found out through podcasts and all that, or his books, but mine was the fasting app, and it was like all this literature and all this stuff about like timing your fast and what it does, and it just changed everything from my mental state.
Zero what?
Zero fasting app, ZERO.
Fast and health tracker.
Yep, that's it. That's it. And I found it because, you know, sometimes I think like the universe just like opens for you. So similar to you, when you got on the scale and you said 270, you know, and that made you upset. I was doing a podcast last year. We were doing it in Vegas from my hotel room. It was me and Andrew Santino was the guest, and we had a wig in the room. And I know somebody like left a wig there, and so I put the wig on, right? And I had wig and glasses, and I was like, you know, like I'm sitting there, and like my neck was like up a little bit, and Santino was like, dude, he goes, you look like a fat Howard Stern right now. And I was like, what? He was like, you look like a fat Howard Stern. I was like, I'll get on the scale right now. Let's see how much I weigh. Like just being like, because I didn't weigh never thought of it. Like you're just living life. You're not thinking that anything's happening. And then we get on the scale, and I was 253 pounds, where I with my whole life had been like, you know, 200s, whatever, and 253. And then, so, you know, as we do.
I've been fat Chris Distefano. The holidays are here, and that means one thing. It is time to break out my favorite jeans and t-shirts and sweaters from True Classic. True Classic's ultra comfortable, perfect fitting essential make for the perfect gift for men in your life. Everything they make is crafted with premium fabric to help you look and feel great anytime, anywhere. And right now, for a limited time, this November, they're giving our listeners a special Black Friday deal all month long, up to 50% off site-wide at trueclassictees.com/Bertcast. Seriously, whatever you choose, you can't go wrong with all the True Classic. All their clothing, from the t-shirts to the jeans to the buttons-ups, is designed to be versatile and work with your lifestyle so you can look great and feel your best all damn day. In fact, True Classic is so committed to their products, they even have a 100% perfect fit guarantee and easy returns. These shirts are undeniable. Their clothes are awesome. Men, this is the perfect gift for you, but also a great gift for her. If you're ready to upgrade your closet, shop now with my exclusive link at trueclassictees.com/Bertcast and save up to 50% off site-wide during their November holiday sale. End the year with holiday cheer thanks to True Classic. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fastest, easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, comedy, music, and theater near you with killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun you'll have. You get images of your seats before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're all set. So set, in fact, that Isla and I used Game Time, and we thought we did it wrong. We were like, oh my God, we got to mom check our work. We went and saw Metallica. It was freaking a blast. We had great seats, and we knew we had great seats because we could see from where we bought them on the site. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Bertcast for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BERTCAST for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Type in Fat Chris Distefano.
Yeah, or type in Fat Howard Stern. Type in Chris Distefano, Fat Howard Stern.
Keep
That's
going.
what we named the episode. And so he goes, so we're, you know, as we are as comics, we're just laughing about it, laughing, joking. And honestly, we had a great episode. Like, we were dying laughing. I was even leaning into I was like, whatever, I don't care. Then I'm in the shower that day, getting ready for the show. I had a show that night, getting ready. And I was thinking about, you know, my day, like going over the bits, bawling, crying. Like something where it was like, oh no, this is not okay with me. Like bawling, like I couldn't stop it. And Jasmine was there, my girl, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And there, I was like, "I'm just crying because I missed
shampoo in my eyes."
Yeah. I was like, "I miss the kids," and you know, and she was like, "Me too." And then she was like, "I'll come in there." I was like, "Don't you come in here." No. And you know, and so crying, and I was like, oh shit. And then I held that and didn't tell anybody even about that. And then we were on the plane coming home. Jazz was like, what's wrong? Like,
I need a seatbelt extender.
What's going on? I was like, Andrew said I'm looking at Fat Howard Stern and he's right. And she was like, Chris, yeah. I was like, did I put on weight? I was like, you need to like be honest with me. She's like, yes, but you still look like a guy and like you're a man and you know, like who cares about that? And I was like, you know,
oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what?
Wait,
I do.
That really is you.
That is me. I was like, I do.
You do look like
no, it was an excellent call by Santino.
Dude, it's amazing how.
But then I changed. In the Zero Fasting app. So I didn't even say any. I must have been saying things out loud or whatever. And then I saw an ad for. I didn't even see an ad for Zero Fasting app. Elon Musk. I was on Twitter, scrolling on Twitter, and I saw Elon Musk tweeted. It was not an ad. He goes, "Anybody looking to lose weight, I tried this fasting app, Zero Fasting app. It really works great." And he must know Peter Attian and that crew from Austin.
Sure he does.
But it was not an ad. It was just like, he didn't even put the link. He was like, this is just to help people. And I was like, I'm getting that and committing to it right now. And then I did it and I started it. And then, you know what happened? About 3 weeks into the fasting, not like necessarily the weight was coming off, like maybe I lost 3 pounds, 4 pounds, but my mind chemistry started to change. And then I started to automatically start to think about, without even thinking about it, I started to put my life into hour time blocks, get like organized, and each block of my day would be something for like productivity. And then the number one thing I did is I got completely off social media. I paid and gave the keys to all of it to this one of my friends, my guy, we call him Lancelot. He runs my social media. And you know, even my manager was saying, even Jasmine was like, yeah, but you're just going to, what if he decides, what if he tweets something? What if he posts something? I said, all that stuff is worth it to me. It's poisoning me. That's keeping me sick. I know we need it for our career, but I don't care about it at all anymore. I'll send him the videos. I'll send him the posts. Even if that means I sell less tickets, I'll be happier as a person. And that's been a year now. And I'm down like 40 pounds, haven't signed into the social media once. my career is fine. It's, you know, it's
doing pretty good.
Where it's okay.
It's doing pretty good. Are you kidding?
It's like maybe if I had to sell, maybe if I was on it more, I'd have a few more tickets sold. But I'm like, I don't care, because for me now, life. What happened is all that's my life started to become more balanced. Like I only look at tickets and all that stuff and money as one aspect of my life. If it used to be, if you're selling more tickets or making more money, I would devalue myself as a human being and glorify you as a human being. You must be better than me overall. Yeah. Where now I don't think about that. Now I think about, like, you know, there's things that you and I are better at than LeBron James. He has more money and is, you know.
I thought about that the other day at Metallica. You know? Yeah. It's yeah,
not many things that we're better at than LeBron James, but I'm just saying there's got to be something.
Out loud.
Yeah.
You ever seen the memes of LeBron reading?
Yeah.
He's always at the first 4 pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does a picture of him reading. Who does that? Digging into this new book, and he's on a treadmill.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, not everything.
It's exhausting to be his friend.
Oh my God.
I bet there's a lot of times you're like, your thing, LeBron.
Dude, you know what's gonna be great about you is I'm almost guaranteeing this. You're gonna die laughing. Which is, but at an old ripe age. Like, you're gonna live a full life, and then your last breaths will be in that laugh, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Borderline, it'll be in a mental institution, but it is that, as you're got such positive, good energy that I know that's what'll happen. Is you're gonna die in a laughter, and that'll be a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then the fight over your estate will begin.
I've been laughing a lot lately.
Good.
I hope that my death, I have a laugh that I get that only my daughters and my wife can give me.
Right.
And it's a defeated, you guys are fucking with me so hard I can't get a word in and I can't catch my breath laugh.
Yeah.
I hope I die on that laugh. I hope that's my laugh. It fucking...
You'd be the guy, like, in like a war, like if I was on the opposite side and we captured you, I'd be like, I can't fucking kill this guy. This guy's the man.
I often think I have that likability.
You do. If somebody killed you, like if I found out, if I was like, you know, if you're fighting, if like we're fighting, you know.
I've already done the visual in my head. So me and you were in World War II, right? And you see them kill me, and then and then you come back to the cell and you're like, wait. Did someone kill the fucking fat guy?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I'd be so furious. And then whoever did that, I'd fucking kill them for sure. And then I'd bury them with you.
Do you ever watch those old Nazi movies and sometimes empathize with the Nazis?
I don't want to say I empathize with them. If I'm just being completely honest with you, I love and adore their uniforms. Hugo Boss. Girl. They had Hugo Boss uniforms driving Mercedes-Benz trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, there had to be some American soldiers being like, I mean, I don't really want to blow up this truck, man. I mean, this is nice. I'd like to get that back, you know, because yes, I don't I don't empathize with them, but I do think that most of America's, and like the British redcoats, colonial America, gorgeous uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
In a red coat, you're marching down with a fully buttoned red coat and that beautiful hat and a bayonet, and you want me to kill you? I can't. I like fashion.
Type in prettiest army uniforms.
You're gonna see.
Bet there's some fucking. I bet right now going on. There's like Luxembourg has sick out.
Oh yeah.
Greece has fucking crazy outfits.
They come in. They fight in like dresses. There we go. Yes, the old school.
Wow.
See, isn't it interesting too? Like back in the day, the idea of a man, like a manly man like George Washington, would be wearing tights and high heels and going to fight in battle. That's how they wore, with nice dress
wig.
Yeah, they were dressing like a female CEO.
Yeah,
it's interesting how times have just changed.
Look at that fucking deep V-neck for what army is that? That's got to be like Trinidad or something.
Dude, how about this? I did a gig for the U.S. Navy last week. Doing gigs for the military, by the way, is something that like I love. I just started doing them, and I'm like, I want to do these. First of all, the Army, the Navy, our armed forces that we send to war, they're legit children. Like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old fucking kids that go to war. And I'm like, I knew that, but I never was around it. And to kind of be able, because again, I'm not going to go to war. I'm not going to, what am I going to do with the war effort? I have all these creams and eczemas and like asthma attacks.
Is that a cupcake in your bunk locker,
yeah.
Sergeant?
Yeah.
Sergeant Distefano.
Yeah.
It is, sir. Oh, you're going to eat it while they do push-ups.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, fat fuck.
Yeah. I know. I always think like when I see like old war movies, like colonial army movies, I would be the drummer in the back and just get decapitated with a cannonball. Like, I'd be keeping the morale of the troops, trying to make them laugh. But when I saw these kids, I was like, holy shit. And all they do is listen to podcasts. Like when they go on the US, when they go on the aircraft carriers, they're going to South China Sea. They're like, all we do is listen to podcasts. And I was like, and it was one of those gigs where, I know you've been there before where comedy is hard enough, right? When we got the gig, they said this is for the US Navy. There's no negotiating with the contract. They don't negotiate with terrorists or comedians. So they said, you take this or leave this, you little shit. Show is outside at high noon, 5,000 soldiers, no cursing, no sex jokes, no talking about the government. 1 hour, high noon, that's what you'll do.
I bet I could do it.
In the heat, right? Yeah.
No sex jokes?
You could do it. No cursing, no
cursing.
talking about the government, no talking about the enemies, nothing. So I said, I'm just going to do this. I said, I got big shows coming up. If, I want to be a comedian. You take any gig, right? Do it. Just fucking do it. Get through it. I'd taken 2 months off of the road in the summer. I said, get back out there and do it. The money was good enough where I said, just do it. As soon as I got there, I kind of feeling them out. I was like, oh, this isn't even about the money. Like just being able to give back to these kids. This is the only way I can give back to the military.
And by the way, this is for anyone listening. You're probably like going like you're 35. You're like, you're young. Go look at. Go into an airport and see. There's a certain time of year that they all start going to training camp.
Yeah.
I run into them at the airport often.
Yeah.
They are, and I mean this with respect, pimple-faced children.
Yes.
They are children. Like they are 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, 22 years old.
Yeah.
They are young. I mean, I'll see them like, I forget where we were, maybe like Alaska. You go to certain places in the country where they're shipping out or they're going to boot camp, and you'll see them and they're children, and they'll come up and they'll be like, I forget where I saw a ton. I was with Leanne.
Yeah.
And I was so astounded at how young they were. Now, granted, I'm older than a lot of the people. I think I'd be decommissioned by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like no one's 50 in the military.
No, I don't even think like leaders are. I think you wouldn't even be. Yeah, you'd be out.
I'd be out.
Yeah. So I go. I'm saying all these shows I'm going to do it. I actually called Colin Quinn for advice.
He's done a lot of. I love, man. You no, I don't mean this like, but I'm so. Jealous is the right word, but like very jealous of the relationship you have with Colin Quinn, because you guys are really tight.
Yeah,
and you guys and like he did take you like as a mentor, and he is such a fucking legend. Even if he heard this, he'd make fun of me right now.
Right.
But everyone loves Colin so much.
No, Colin is he's awesome, and he's always been and he was like. The thing is, like a lot of times, like, when you ask like a comedian for advice or like, the old school, they always like abuse you and make fun of you and all that, and then give you the advice. So Colin, though, for this call, he was like, let me tell you something. He was like, don't ever forget that you're in charge there. Okay. You're the comedian. You're the professional. You be on your toes. It's for the Navy. They're young kids. You just be fun, be excited. They're going to follow your energy. Don't worry about that it's outside. Don't worry about you can't curse. Use it. Everything in this life, use as a challenge, use as an opportunity to make you better. He was like, you used to tell me all the time when my dad, when I was playing basketball and my dad would want me to get my left hand, be better with my left hand, he would tie my right hand behind my back. Like, he was like, think of it like that. This is practice. They've taken, get through it, right? So I said, okay, great. So I went in there confident. We go out there. It's crazy. It's in like, a parking lot, thousands of people.
Where is it?
San Diego. Right next to the big aircraft carrier, the USS Lincoln. So we're there. I'm like, holy shit, there's a band on before me, like a Southern, like dope band I think they were called Steel and Wool. And they were crushed. I mean, these kids are line dancing. They're having like the best fucking time ever. Like it was wild, right? Where I was like, it almost felt like you were in the deep South. Like I was like, somebody's going to yell the N-word. And so it was crazy, right? And then like after music, comedy after music is not
It's tough.
It's tough. So then they're like, all right, you know, next guy up, you know, from podcast, whatever, Chris Stefano. So I go up there and I'm looking out and immediately I'm like, this was a bad idea. I'm like, I
have too much hair gel in for this.
Yeah, this is not good. So, but I look out, I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, a couple of them, like, I could tell, like, you knew who I was. I heard a couple of yelling Chrissy's. If you yell Chrissy, I'm like, oh, then you following me. So I was like, I got to do it. And I got my I had my whole 55 minutes planned. I was like, you know, because when you got to stay clean, it's like there's things.
You definitely highlight what will work.
Yes. So I abandoned, you know, my old stuff. I abandoned my new stuff. I was like, I got to go with my old stuff. Some of the stuff I've done on TV already, whatever. So then we're about 8 minutes into the show. Microphone goes out, fully goes out, like nobody can hear me. So I'm like, holy shit. So I put the microphone cord around my neck, like, because I was like going to make like a, you know, hang myself joke. And I said, I had this split decision where I said, I know that right now the microphone's not working. I turned around. I said, can we get that back on? And the guy immediately was like, the generator just blew out. We will not have any power for a couple of hours. So I was like, I'm going to have to scream my set. I said, I can't walk, even though I knew in the contract that this is a problem. Like, I could walk off and get all my money right now because this is not my fault. I could be like, I don't perform under these conditions, whatever. But I was like, I can't do it to this military kids. So I was like, I'm going to scream my set. But then I said, because the wheels fell off already, I was like, I'm also abandoning everything that the contract said. Yeah. And I said, I'm just going to let some shit rip right now, and we're going to see what happens. Because the first few minutes went okay. It was like, you know, it was like a neutered version of my comedy. So then I just said, you know what, I'm going to let one rip. Let's see what happens. So I say, oh, they said the generator just ran out of gas. I was like, you know why, right? And some kid was like, why? I was like, because we're sending all our money to Ukraine. And they were like, yeah. And then I swear to God, a few kids started going, fuck Joe Biden. And I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, all right, so now we're letting it rip. And then right away, I was like, look at this guy's pedophile mustache, you fucking creep. And then boom, and then started going. And then I literally had one of the best times I've had in comedy. I didn't kill. I will not even try to lie and say that was not it. But it was like the connection with these fucking kids just screaming my set, going crazy. The guy who was like the rules Nazi who told me 100 times in my trailer before the show, do not curse, do not disparage the government, do not do this, do not do that. All of us, I saw him laughing. I saw there was one kid that like was saying like that he got off drugs. He went through rehab and the army saved his life. And I was like, how many times did you fucking smoke crack with Hunter Biden? Like, you know, like shit like that, like talking about the president's son. And they were like all going crazy. And then they told me after the show, they were like, some of these kids that you perform for are going to get deployed and they're going to the South China Sea. Really? And they're going like within 12 to 14 hours. They're not going to be back for days. And he was like, you made him laugh. You had a good time. We appreciate it. And I told my agent after that, even though that was a really hard gig, I was like, get me more shit with the military. I was like, because you realize like the greater good of comedy, like it wasn't about the money. I was like, even if I violated all the rules of this contract and you're not going to give me $1, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it would matter. I would be like, I'll sue you. But I meant like it really was one of the first times in my career, or the first time where it like really reinforced like what we do. Like these kids are, I didn't realize that some of them are like legitimately like, because I've performed sometimes for the military, but it's like the National Guard and stuff, which is still cool, but it's like they're not, you know, it's just like some guy like he works at a bank. Legion. This is like these kids go to war. Like these kids that you perform for, they're going to war if they're like the first wave. So it's like they will get killed. Not all those kids. Some of those kids, 5 years or less, they're dead in war somehow. And I'm like, because you know we're always fighting war. When they gave me a tour of the boat, they were like, look, the wars that make the news, it's like, he was like, it's very similar to any other industry.
YouTube specials.
There's wars that make the news.
There's Netflix specials in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Specials.
He was like, but there's wars right now we're fighting that they don't make the news. There's proxy wars. There's things that the U.S. government is involved. Really? We are a war machine. Like,
and we'll hear about it in 10 years when they're like, that's why we had an influx of Oxycontin.
It's just, people going in. You know, like we are like, you know, like we would learn when we were kids at school about like, you know, the fucking Mohawk Native Americans, the Mongolians, Genghis Khan, the warring tribe. That's what we are. The United States, we're the warring tribe. Yeah. So it's like we're the ones sending the kids out all day, every day. I'm not saying right or wrong, but I just saw it firsthand and I was like, holy shit.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine military being an option for me.
No.
Like when I laid out all my plans for life, military wasn't even like on the table.
And you're from Florida, so like that's a big thing. You're going to the military.
Well, ROTC was a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes did ROTC. A lot of dudes would go do, what is it? What's it when you do it on the weekends?
I think that's National Guard, right?
Is it not? Yeah, my cousins in the National Guard, a bunch of dudes did National Guard, and then they come back jacked. You have to go to boot camp.
Yeah.
And then you go to National Guard.
Come back shredded. Yeah, dude. I don't know. For me, it's like if I'm having a tough time mentally, being on the road in Cleveland in a nice hotel, I'm not going to make it in a bunker.
I'm having a hard time picking a flight to Raleigh.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no sleeper beds.
Yeah. Now,
like, should we just fly private?
Yeah, maybe you should. Raleigh's state capital. I love a good state capital. Get a picture in front of the Capitol.
I got really pissy about it because I was like, I'm not drinking, and I drink on planes.
Yes, bless you, salami body.
And I said to myself, like, I should, and I don't want to drink on the plane.
Okay.
But it's really tough for me to sit still.
Do you have an end date for this, or is this just in perpetuity?
That's the fucked up part, is I don't have an end date.
Because you got to think about how we're going to sustain this.
Well, I know I'm drinking on my cruise.
Which is when?
October 27th.
Can you make it to October 27th?
Dude, I could do the rest of my life without drinking.
Right. Survey says that's a lie.
I easily could. I could. The problem I have is not, the real honest problem I have is genuinely probably planes.
Planes is where you need to drink on planes.
I have established a very unhealthy relationship with my anxiety and dealing with my anxiety with alcohol on planes. Like a very, very, very unhealthy relationship.
Okay.
So like I can do an hour, I can do an hour and a half flight. I can do probably like 2.5 hours. When we start getting into 6 hours, my mind starts spinning out of control.
Got it.
And I can't, Xanax won't work. I'm going to try. The thing is, I can measure my buzz or measure my boredom with alcohol. I can go like, here's a cocktail, and then I'm good. I'm good. That's where I've really honestly, and I remember when I first started doing it, and I was like, I bet you're going to die from the alcohol before you do a plane. So I was like,
yeah,
because I mean, I think
statistically would say yes, higher chance,
way higher chance. If you drink on every fucking flight you've ever been on,
right? Okay, how about this? Here's a solution. When you're exercising, I feel like you're also addicted to exercising. When you exercise, you go, what about flying private? If it's beautiful to have that option, why don't you exercise on the plane? When you want to drink,
if I fly private, I don't have to drink.
Oh, you only have to drink on commercial.
When I'm on there's something about not being in control.
But you're not in control in the private.
I am. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
You can get behind those gears.
I can take a little vape hit pen.
Yeah.
I can take a little... I can go walk up front. Hey, how's it looking, boys? Nice,
right.
nice.
Okay, so that's what it is.
Yeah. I can do whatever I want on that plane. I've not drank on private flights. I've drank on a lot, but I don't need. I'm not like someone who needs alcohol.
Okay.
I just go.
You enjoy it.
I love it. So like I will drink on my cruise because I've been looking forward to this. So I'm like not gonna not drink on a cruise and fucking go hard as fuck. Like I'm gonna go hard on the cruise.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, right. And then,
well, I mean, you don't have to, but you will.
Like I'm doing Red Rocks. I don't need to drink at Red Rocks. Like no one. Here's the other thing: is like on tour, no one sees me really drink. Like if I don't drink, no one really notices.
Yeah. Also, your fans, and I know you know this, but just to say it out loud, your fans, if it was best for you to not drink, your fans would support that.
100%.
They'll support whatever you do. They love you, not because of your drinking, and they love you because they love you.
I think
you'll have some dickheads that are like, oh, you don't get drunk anymore. It's like, shut up, you asswipe.
It's funny, but there's a Deion Sanders quote that I reposted on Instagram.
Yeah.
It was really great.
I love Deion Sanders.
Dude.
The best.
He is killing it right now.
Yeah.
And he said something
Colorado coach.
Like, I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny. Like
he said he doesn't care like what he's like, I don't care about your opinion of me. I care about my opinion of me. I don't care what you think of me.
Because it's beautiful. Think about what so like imagine whatever drama you're going through on the internet, right? Which we've all done it at certain times. I think for me, if I'm drinking, I'm a little more aware of it. If I'm not drinking, I'm a little disconnected from it. That's one of the positives of not drinking and smoking weed is I'm very empathetic. So like I read a negative comment in someone else's fucking Instagram. about me.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
I was like, so guys, how did I get fucking hit on this?
Yeah.
But I was high in my backyard and I was having a cigar and I thought, yeah, there's people I don't like for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Like there are people I actually dislike for no reason at all. And I went, yeah, that guy, I'll give it to him.
Well, it's like they're all just a part of the whole. Like an obnoxious person is just, it's all part of the whole like pie of life. Like, of course, there's going to be people that you don't like. There's percentages in life everywhere you go, statistics everywhere you go. So it's like this idea that like every person's going to like us is ridiculous and absurd.
Yeah.
It's, of course, there's going to be people that don't like you, just like there'll be people that we don't like. Those are percentages of our whole for, obnoxious people who, want to take from you, people who give to you. It's all.
As I read that negative comment, like, fuck Bert, I don't like Bert. All he ever really does is tell the machine story, which is inaccurate. It's like I have fucking, 6 specials like that I don't tell the machine in. So
right.
Like, part of me is like, whatever. But I was high and I went, I'll give it to him.
Okay.
And I wouldn't comment on it, but I was like, yeah, I feel that thing about other people.
I think
so. But marijuana makes me empathetic.
Okay.
So when I'm high, when I'm sober, I don't deal with like any of the drama. It doesn't register the way it does. If I'm drinking, I'm a little more thinking about that.
Right. Because I think when we're drinking, right, like you're paralyzing a lot of your senses, and then animalistic part of your brain, that survival part of your brain, that like thump, kill, survive part of your brain comes out more.
Yeah.
Something that has helped me with social media, like not being on it or very, very seldomly being on it. Only time when my social media guy's like, hey, you should take a look at this comment, or how do you respond to this? Then, I'll, advise on what I think is best. But I've made it just a wholehearted decision. If I don't know you, I don't let your opinion of me sway me positive or negative.
Yeah.
If you're a stranger and I don't know you, including famous people, I don't know the president of the United States. I don't know Donald Trump. I don't know Elon Musk. I don't know them. So it's like when they're portrayed on the media and I'll see somebody getting so irate about this person. I'm like, you don't know them. You know a snippet of what was chosen to be shown to you. Yeah. You don't know this person at all.
Did you see Emma Roberts and Bill Clinton?
No.
This is crazy. It's crazy.
He fucked her?
No. So they're both in like the Hamptons or whatever.
Okay.
Emma Roberts is Julie Roberts' niece.
She's over 18, right?
Yes, she
okay,
is.
Good. Because I hope that joke, if she was like 14, I'd be like, here we go.
Whatever.
Yeah, I used to think when I was a kid, I love history. I used to want to bang Joan of Arc. She died when she was like 16. They burnt her.
Oh,
but I still
real?
wanted to bang her. Yeah, I want to bang the depiction of Joan of Arc.
I think Joan of Arc is hot as fuck.
I like her fucking hair, dude.
Dude, me too.
She's got a sick bowl cut.
I forgot you're as obsessed with history as I am.
Love it.
We're going to pivot in 2 seconds after I tell you what Emma Roberts did.
Oh, yeah. Tell me what Emma Roberts did.
Can you find... So what happened is Bill Clinton is walking into a bookstore that Emma Roberts is walking out of.
Okay.
She sees... This is what it looks like. It looks like she sees the paparazzi, believes they're for her, and goes, get the fuck out of the way. What we miss is her saying, oh shit, that's Bill Clinton. Let me get the fuck out of the way.
Right.
She says, let me get the fuck out of the way.
Right.
So then everyone's destroying her in the comments. You're nothing. You're a nobody. That's the former president of the United States. Emma Roberts is like, yo, I didn't say that.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. Now that's news. And now that's the truth. The truth is, but what you think you heard her say.
Right.
Let me get the fuck out of the way. And it's crazy because I saw it and I was sober at the time I saw it and I went, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's hard.
Why would she think? Look. So she's like, get the fuck out of the way to a black guy. That's horrible. Immediately.
Right.
What she's saying is, let me get the fuck out of the way. The president's in there. It is kind of crazy that Emma Roberts and Bill Clinton are shopping at the same bookstore.
Hamptons, though. That's what. But okay. But let me ask you this. So, do you think though now, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, I would say like most people would just say what a biatch Emma Roberts is, whatever, because they were not thinking that the media lies or they're not thinking that media manipulates.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I feel like a much larger percentage of people know what you know, in that if you're seeing something on the news, anything on the news, you have to question,
Yeah.
Is that CGI? Is that AI? Has that been doctored? Has that been edited? You know, you have to, because the media, I think it's well known now that the media, they have to make the news. The news is such a big industry that it used to be whatever the actual news of the day is the news. But now the news must be manufactured because of the desire for us as people to consume it and them to make money off it. So they will make news when there is no news. Even the fact of the president have to have a news conference every week that's just so he can say something that's stupid in a soundbite, so there'll be news on it. And if he says no comment, then that's the news. So they can't get out of their own way. So this whole news machine is, I think, something that has to be like really taken with so much scrutiny. I personally watch the local news the most because I'm like, it's still, I'm sure, manufactured, but it's less. Like, I'm not going to I can't, yes, we're all one, we're all connected. I believe in that, but it's like, I'm not going to let some edited version of what some Ukrainian general said scare me anymore, because I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe we didn't land on the moon. I have no idea anymore.
I have no idea.
I really
doesn't affect my life that much if we didn't.
Yeah, I really genuinely don't care anymore. My main goal is to get this 2-year-old potty trained, because she's shitting on the floor now on a weekly basis. And I don't know how many times, I don't know if you remember when you were kids. I mean, to step in human shit's a brain fuck.
I regressed my daughters. My wife went on vacation for 1 week, and Georgia stopped shitting in the potty, and Isla started shitting everywhere.
Right.
And Leanne came home and was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I'm shitting everywhere too." Yeah. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, you just shit. Did you see this guy who shit all over the plane? The diarrhea that the plane had to reroute?
No, but I don't know the story, but I'm already on his team.
Yeah. Because what kind of diarrhea is that? Like, what? Oh, how do you get on an aircraft? No, that doesn't come out of nowhere. You know that you must have had rumblings, and then, because I think what happened was he shit in his seat. He shit his seat, and then when he was going to the bathroom, it was just fully like an uncontrollable demonic shit that was literally like hitting people in the face.
Oh, I love it.
They had to. Could you imagine they had to reroute the flight because of your shit and fully land? How embarrassing is that? You're just sitting there in literally a river.
I think at a certain point you give up.
You don't care.
Yeah, it's like getting eaten by a shark. At a certain point, you stop fighting and go in the mouth.
Right.
Like, I think you just go like, yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had some of the worst. I know I've probably told this at some point in my life. When I was 10 years old, I shit my pants so bad that I had to throw away my clothes and steal clothes out of the men's locker room and put on a man's clothes and finish a tennis match. I shit my pants so bad. I had to shit. So I was sitting there getting ready to play tennis, and I thought to myself, I should take a shit. And then I was like, I'm going to take a shit. And then the kid walked up. He was an Indian kid. He walked up and he's like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, yeah, let's play. So we go to start playing, and as we're playing, I'm beating him, but I've got a shit so bad.
Sure.
But I'm not beating him bad enough so I can just go, I'm going to smoke this kid and take a shit. So I give up. I just go, fine, let him win. I got to take a shit.
Yeah.
So I throw the first set, 6-0. I'm like, fucking, you win.
Right.
I race to the men's locker room at Carrollwood. As I'm going as I'm backing into the toilet, as I'm driving my pants, I shit mid-pant drop and shit half in my pants, half out of my pants, onto the toilet seat, sit on it, on my shirt. So now I've ruined my shirt, my underwear, and my pants. I look down, it's in my socks. And all I have are a pair of Stan Smiths that don't have shit on them, right?
Right.
So I take the Stan Smiths off. I throw them out. Like, you're safe. I then sit, and I go like, this is, I have to fix this. Like, this isn't something I can just walk away from.
Right.
Stand corrected. I walked away from it. I just left all those clothes in there. I walked into the shower. I rinsed off. I didn't even look in there. I was like, everything there is gone.
Right.
It's dead to me. I'm naked. I'm 10 years old. I'm now jiggling men's lockers until I find an open one. In there are a pair of pants and a shirt, fucking covered in cologne.
Oh.
I put on a man's shirt and a man's pants. I take my string out of my shoe. I tie it as a belt around the man's pants. I go out and finish the match. One shoe half fucking tied. Like, I'm literally like, I lose. And my mom picks me up at Carrollwood at like 4 in the afternoon. I smell like a different man. I sit in the car and she goes, and my mom just, I love you, Mom, but she's so disconnected at times. She goes, how was your day? And I was like, are you being fucking serious? Look at what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
She was like, Where'd you get those clothes? I was like, I shit my pants. It's the worst. It's the worst I've ever shit. And this is a secret. Like no one knows about this.
Great.
Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. With the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Special League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3 points made plus receptions. Shut up. Want to play alongside some Prize Picks favorite players like rapper Meek Mill or my buddy Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For basketball and football games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. I'm telling you right now, you got to go head to head with Meek Mill, right? Find out who's better. This is, if you're looking for fun on the weekend, this is where you're going to find it. Go to prizepicks.com/Bert and use code BERT for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bert and use code BERT for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. If you run a solo small business, you're an army of one, but you still need a CPA, a bookkeeper, separate payroll solution, and more. Let Collective take care of the paperwork while you take care of the business. Collective is the #1 financial solution for freelancers, contractors, and self-employed entrepreneurs that lets you focus on your passion and not your paperwork. Let Collective handle all the paperwork you dread, like corporate formation and compliance, taxes, bookkeeping, accounting, and even payroll. The best part, it's a fraction of the cost of a CPA. Join the thousands of solopreneurs who have saved an average of $10,000 per year on taxes with their structure. Right now, Collective is offering 1 month free and no onboarding fee when you go to collective.com/Bert and tell them Bert sent you. That's a $550 value for free when you go to collective.com/Bert and tell them Bert sent you. That's collective.com/Bert and tell them Bert sent you. And this is a secret. Like no one knows about this.
Great.
During the pandemic, his parents opened their house up to us.
Okay.
So we bring our tour bus to Golden, Colorado, wherever the fuck they live in Colorado. We bring our tour bus there, and they spend the day feeding us, drinking. We're fucking on the boat. We're having such a great day. I wake up in the middle of the night, and I have to shit so bad. Now, it's a long walk from our bus to their bathroom. By the time, and I'm sorry that you're hearing this now. Yeah. By the time I get to the bathroom, I'm 10 years old again. As I pull my pants down, I start shitting all in my clothes, all on the walls, all over the toilet. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I have this moment of clarity where I realize, dude, we're in the thick of this. Like, I'm cleaning this up, and I don't want to clean this up.
Right.
And I have to clean the whole bathroom. I have to clean their bathroom. I've shit all over their bathroom. I mean, it's so bad that as I go, I'm done. I lift up the toilet seat. It's all underneath the toilet seat. I mean, I cleaned up, and so like I use their towels. I use all their towels. I then take their towels and fucking hide them.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, it was so bad that a couple times I sat there, like almost like the way you do when you get bad news from a doctor. Like, I gotta fucking deal with this.
Yeah.
Like I gotta fucking figure this out. It was so bad. I kept going, it's peanut butter. It's peanut butter. That's all I thought the entire time.
What?
It's peanut butter. It's just peanut butter. It's just peanut butter.
It's just peanut butter.
It's just peanut butter. It's just peanut butter.
Yeah.
It was so bad, man. I've had a number of those incidents.
You shit yourself regularly.
Oh, I shit. I told this is how you know you're in love. I was massaging Leanne's feet the other day. I shit through my pajamas into our pillow. I shit on our pillow.
Nice.
And she still had sex with me.
There you go.
That's love.
That's love.
I shit my pants a lot. I shit my pants one time in front of the Comedy Cellar at 5:30 in the morning running to catch a train. And I was with my sister. And there had been a DJ that had thrown out T-shirts the night before. And I randomly had their T-shirt over my shoulder. We're racing to go catch a train up in Grand Central Station or whatever to go to D.C. I walk out. I used to live right above the falafel place, right by McDougal Ale House.
Yeah.
I used to live right there. I walk out, and I shit my pants so bad. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's right when the city's starting to wake up. And I go, God damn it. I take the shirt. I drop my pants to my ankles. I wipe my ass. I put the shirt in the gutter. And I go, let's go. And my sister goes, no. No. And I swear to you, I went into the bathroom on the train and cleaned myself up the best I could, but we caught that train, and I did not take a shower. We went to dinner that night. I have no problem shitting my pants.
Dude, that's like the machine story of shit. That's like you found those are amazing.
There's
the
two
best
types
shit
of
stories.
people. There's two types of people. People who shit their pants and people who don't shit their pants.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would argue that the people who do shit their pants are living a much fuller life. Like all these shit stories, the hours before is you're having the time of your life. We're not talking about you got sick because you ate something. We're talking about you're shitting your pants because you've lost function in your bowels because you've had so much fun.
Yeah.
And so much alcohol.
I like to take chances.
Which is a beautiful thing.
I don't sit there. I used to have a joke, and I've tried to make it work a million times. It never works, and not enough people do both of these analogies. But shitting your pants is like getting a DUI.
Okay.
You get away with it so much where you go, it's a fart, right?
Right.
Or you're like, I'm a fucking mile away.
Right.
That you get away with it so much that you think you'll never get caught.
Right.
And then one night you're like, oh, I'm fucked.
It hit me.
I'm fucked. Like
right.
I'm getting pulled over. And
I know those bird dog shorts. They, because it's just like they got the built-in underwear. I shart in those all day, every day when I don't even know. Like you just rip a fart, that's normal. And then you take those off and you're like, what the fuck is going, like you have a
I don't wear underwear. And so like
never?
Never. I'm not wearing
That's why
now.
you shit yourself a lot.
Well, that's why like people will go, I didn't realize, for a long time, I didn't realize that when you have explosive diarrhea, that it splashes back up. Like,
okay.
I think I told a joke about it, but like I would shit underneath the toilet.
Right.
So it would hit and then it would bounce back. And then you'd lift the toilet seat up and you see freckles everywhere. And then my wife would go, nice. You need to clean that. And I was like, that's not me. She goes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
You shit underneath the toilet. And I go, how am I shitting underneath the toilet? And she goes, you're pushing so hard that it's hitting the porcelain and shooting back up.
It's physics.
And then she said, do you wipe your legs? And I went, no.
No.
She goes, well, you think it just stops at the toilet seat? I had shit all over my legs, and I was just putting my pants on and just going like, start my day, and there's shit all over my pants.
Over the upper part of your thigh. Oh, you're a fascinating man. You're a fascinating man because you're literally like beyond successful, amazing. Everybody loves you, and you shit like my 2-year-old. It's the same. Oh, yeah. It would be if we just zoomed in where you can't tell, all we're seeing is legs, the back of the legs. I would say, is this my 2-year-old or is this Bert Kreischer? And I don't know that everybody would get it right.
I think
people would be like, that's your 2-year-old. I said, nope, that's Bertie Boy. There's a tour promo.
That's Bertie Boy.
Yeah. Hey man, like I said, it's fun. You're living life.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
Steve Byrne takes a shower after he shits.
Every time he shits.
Every time he shits.
But that's Asian customs.
It might be.
Yeah. They don't even wear shoes in the house.
Have you ever shit in Asia?
I've never been to Asia, period.
Really? Where do you want to go when you travel? Would you want to travel at all? Do you care?
I do, but for me, the idea of going to Asia or Australia and being so far away from my kids, especially while they're little, is just not something I want to do right now. A little bit older, when I would love to take the family. Like next summer, I'm prepared. I'm hoping that I go to the London, the UK for the entire summer and base myself out of London and tour around the UK. Like basically, like if I'm in New York, going to Philly, Boston, whatever. Like I'm in London, going to Manchester and Scotland and whatever. But I'm going to bring my family.
That would be
bring the kids.
Fun as fucking.
That's what I want to do, as opposed to, you know, I had a tour set up in Australia, and about a month before I was like, I just can't do this. Really? I can't be away for 3 weeks. For me, it's like just being so far away. I'm just a guy. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like I'm not cut out for this. I just do not like. I just want to be home. I always want to be in New York. I just want to be near my kids. I have no idea. I know that this career isn't conducive for that all the time, and I'm on the road. And right now, I'm happy. I'm where my feet are. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm happy to do my shows tonight. But I'm like, if I could get to, like, I'm the guy, if my podcast or a radio or a television show, like something where I was like making beyond enough money to just stay.
How much is that price?
In New York? I mean, see, the thing is,
you need to make a year for it to be, because I've always said that, but then it always increases.
That's the thing, is when I speak to Jasmine about it, she's like, you already make enough doing the podcast. We already are, it's just about adjusting your life. It's like, you already have enough right now, but it's like, if you want to always fly first class or take luxurious vacations or put the kids in the top schools or buy the nice, then you got to keep, but if we want to readjust our life here, you can do it. So
who the fuck does that?
That's
Ari,
the thing.
Ari
does it.
Ari does it, and he's not happy.
He's not.
I don't think so.
No way.
I mean, I think he is. I mean, like, it's hard for me to speak on someone else's happiness, because Ari is a very content, fulfilled person.
Yes.
I think what Ari wants out of life is very different than what we want out of life.
Right.
Like Ari,
he also doesn't have kids.
He doesn't have
different
kids.
when you have children.
He doesn't have kids. He doesn't want kids.
Right.
He really just wants to live. I take that back. I think Ari must be happy, or he wouldn't be doing what he's doing.
Right.
But I think, I don't know.
It's weird, because if I didn't have kids, I would already have, like, I would already be like, whatever, I can live. Then I won't go on the road as much. I'll just stay home. But because I have kids, I'm like, I got to go on the road. I got to make so much money for them. So it's like the thing that I'm trying to make money, which takes up time. But time is the thing that you don't get back. Money you can just replenish. So it's like this weird thing we have in our brain.
But there's a thing. I think the world's filled with cunts. And,
yes.
and
it's a good title for an album.
When they say stuff to you, like, you know, I don't mean, look, I know this is going to be taken out of context and it's going to come out wrong. But when they say stuff to you like, you know, Chris, you're working hard. When's enough? That person's a cunt. They're a fucking cunt. They don't deserve to speak.
Yes.
I don't want to hear them speak.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what their opinions are on anything.
Yeah.
I don't if I'm looking to buy a car, I don't want to hear what they have to say.
Exactly. Why don't you lick the back of my shit legs?
Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Because I get that from so many. When's enough? And you're like, I don't know. Are we really going to have that conversation? No one says that to a guy building roofs.
Right.
No one says that to the guy in the military. No one pulls that 18-year-old kid and go, hey, man, you know, one thing you're not going to get back is time. And you're having all these people tell you what to do with your time. That's kind of fucked up. You should determine what. Or do we say, hey, man, thank you for your service? Or is there a point where you just go, hey, shut the fuck up and say you're welcome?
Yeah.
Like, I've given all of it I've given all of it. I've given everything I got.
Right.
I give it all.
Yeah.
To not selflessly, but there's compromises. There's things I've done compromised.
Right.
To do something that I love. People do that. Like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, well, because really when they do that is like they want you to stop, because they're like you're doing so much better than me, and I don't have the.
That's what I'm afraid.
So you got to determine it internally.
Like I go, it's crazy.
By the way, I just want to say that it's mind-blowingly different looking at you now, knowing you don't have underwear on. I just thought you for sure had underwear on, because there's a couple of times where those shorts are definitely. Oh, you do?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Rachel,
there it is. Salami body.
You definitely see my bot.
I was going to say, because now it's like, because there's been a couple times where your shorts are riding up. I'm like, he's got underwear, but now I know it's like at times you're millimeters away here from the bottom of a testicle, which is cool by me, but it's just something I need to mentally prepare for.
I don't know why I don't wear underwear.
I think it's okay that you don't, but it's just good that you let me know, because no problems.
Do you wear underwear?
I do wear underwear, but I'm rethinking that.
Boxers,
unfortunately.
Boxer briefs.
I'm not a tidy whitey guy. I like.
But that's because you're from New York, and that when you take a girl home and lay her in bed, that's your look.
Right.
Like in Florida, you lay a girl in bed, and your pants come off, and it's like, I'm already naked.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, like,
and I think too, I went to an all-boy Catholic high school, and it was like,
too.
Yeah, see, it was one of those things where, like, when I was on playing basketball, it's like, you know, you would get in the shower, and I would be like, you know, I'd get in the shower with my bathing suit on, and then like, yeah, it's weird, and then
wait, for real?
Yeah, and then it was like that reverse psychology where, like, you know, some senior would be like, what are you bathing suit on? What are you, gay?
Yeah.
What are you fucking gay? Let me see your dick.
Yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said.
Yeah, exactly. Which is true. It's like, you're gayer. It's more straight if I just go butt naked and let you see my dick and balls, and if I'm in a bathing suit.
No.
It's gay to be in the bathing suit.
No. When you came in a bathing suit.
That's gayer.
By the way, I would have loved to have been able to wear a bathing suit when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
I was so terrified getting naked in front of other boys.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm sorry, keep their names in because they're two solid dudes. 3, Tom Young, Truett Gardner, and Thompson Rankins were in 9th grade and I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
And I was leaving Berkeley Prep and I was going to Jesuit the next year, and we all played football together. And they're like, yo, we're going to take a shower afterwards. And I was like, oh, cool. And talk about like well-rounded dudes, right?
Okay.
They're a year older than me, and they're like, hey, man, you want to take a shower? And I was like, I'm good. And they're like, hey, it's okay if you're nervous getting like naked around us. You can wear boxers. And I went, what? And they're like, yeah, man, wear boxers. Don't worry about it. They're like, we understand. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, are you guys wearing boxers? And they're like, well, no, we're not really uncomfortable, so we'll be naked, but we can wear boxers if you want us to. I was like, no, but I'll wear boxers. And they're like, cool. So I took a shower in boxers. I'm in 8th grade. I was like, that was cool. That was so fucking nice. So then I go to the new all-boys Catholic high school, and I was like, I think I'll just wear boxers. Yeah. And they're like, like, what? They're like, take your pants off.
Yeah.
Like, huh? And I was just so traumatized. I tried to get my dick hard.
Yeah,
it was such a nightmare.
Yeah. You can't say that word anymore now.
What, dick? Oh. Yeah, I think I just saw Shane's special. You definitely can.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, yeah.
And hey, just bleep it out for me.
Yeah.
No, I think you can say it if you say that you are called it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I heard Shane's special hours, like one of the best hours in years.
Well,
amazing.
You know what's so funny? I just watched. I put it on in the gym. I run. I only watched the first 5 minutes of his special. I've seen that special probably 30 times.
Like actually live.
Seen it,
right?
But I've never seen the front of it. I've never seen it from the audience
because you're seeing it at the end.
No, because I watch it from side stage.
Oh, got it.
I've only seen it from side stage, or I've never seen his facial expressions.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was so animated.
Yeah.
And
it's a great comic.
I watched it and I went, oh, this is really fucking phenomenal. I texted him. I was like,
yeah.
I texted him this morning.
It feels like, I was talking about this last night with Andrew Santino. It feels like Shane's special coming. I think it came out today. At midnight, right? Like that's one of those specials that like you already know. Like it's getting him to the next level, even beyond what he is now. Like it's already like it's just happening.
Yeah. Here's the deal: is like I've taken him out with me a number of times. The Super Bowl to Fully Loaded, both years. I've been with him a lot. I've watched the audience receive him at different times in his career. And when we were at the Super Bowl, I thought that's fucking. This is something's happening. Like I can sense it. So I've seen it happen for me. I've seen it happen for Tom. I've seen it happen for a lot of different people.
Right.
And when we did Fully Loaded this year, it was crazy.
They went nuts for him.
And I went, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, this is about to pop. And he had just taped his special. And I was like, how did it go? And he gave me like a nod, like, I got it.
Good.
And so it's and I think it's a perfect storm. I know this isn't stuff that he would want to hear said about him, but like I think there's a huge pushback of people going like, fuck you don't tell me what's funny.
Right.
And the audience members.
Well, Shane's one of those guys, in my opinion, he's funny in any generation. Like some guys are getting, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I might even be one of these guys that like, maybe I'm only having a little bit of success because of the generation.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, he's definitely not though. He's like, if it was 1950, he'd be where he's at Versus
I
if
think
it was
he'd be progressive if it was 1950.
Right. I'm saying like he's not a it's not like because of TikTok or it's like he's just any algorithm, any medium, he's just going to the top. So that's good.
Well, I think he's
good to see.
There's a lot about him that I would break down that I think make him very funny. But number one, and across the board, is he's actually a really great comedian, and it's a great hour. I watched like the beginning, and then I put it on mute and watched it and read it as I worked out. I'll watch it again. I've seen it before, but I told him, I was like, this is going to be. He's not going to like what it does to him.
Right.
But sadly, so a guy like me doesn't mind it. Because I'm always been a little bit of a whore.
You're like life of the party.
I like to have a good time, and if you ask me, like, do I like being famous? Yeah, I do. I don't mind it at all. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when someone says,
good for you,
I'm sure there's times where it's taxing on my family. It definitely is. We were at Target the other day doing a road trip, and someone got on the loudspeaker and was like, "The machine is in the fucking building."
Yeah.
And I heard people scream.
Yeah.
And my daughters got really upset, and Leanne went and chastised the manager and was like, "Yo, he's with his family. He's trying to have a moment." And I was like, fucking let it go. Who gives a shit?
I mean,
like no one, everyone in my family forgets what it's like to see. They forget. I was with them when they saw Sandra Bullock at Sebastian's show. They saw Sandra Bullock. Yeah. It wasn't Sebastian. It was Rush. We went and saw, not Rush, Queen.
Okay.
We went and saw Queen with Adam Lambert. And we were backstage. We got backstage passes, and they saw Sandra Bullock. And my daughters lost their fucking shit.
Sure.
And my wife lost their fucking shit. And they wanted to go up and get a picture. And I had to stop them and say, hey, she's just here watching a show. Let her have her time. They forget what that's like when you're in like rural, when you're in Coos Bay, fucking San Francisco or California, and you're at a fucking Target and or wherever the fuck we were, and you've never really met a famous person, and all of a sudden you find out that someone you've seen is in the building.
Yeah.
It's fucking thrilling.
It's cool. Yeah,
but Shane it's about to happen to Shane.
Yeah,
because everyone in every Walmart and Target he's about to be their favorite fucking.
That is you too. Like they should just put your face in the Target sign. You're a fan. You are Target.
He is, and I'm curious to watch that because like Tom definitely pushed back from it and was like, I do not want to be recognized. He told people, don't fucking come up and talk to me.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting to see how people deal with it. Artists like that.
Tom's interesting because I feel like Tom will have the arena sold out in the town and could walk past the arena in the middle of the day, and there might be people that don't say anything to him. I mean, his fans will go crazy, but it's like he's done a good.
Fans won't give him.
He's been able to do so well and also maintain his anonymity well as well. Like he's at the top of the game, but yeah,
we've had people come up to us and they'll recognize him and think it's me,
right?
And they'll be like, "Yo, you're Bert," and he'll be like, "Nope."
Yeah,
he's like, "No, you're the Kool-Aid guy. I saw you in the Kool-Aid clip," and he'll be like, "Nope." And then I'll walk up and they'll be like, "Shut the fuck up! Wait, is he the bald guy on the show?" And and we went to NASCAR. He maybe got recognized like 5 times. I got recognized like 500 times.
I believe it.
And he was blown away. But I think he also didn't put himself out on social media the way I do. I'm all over TikTok. Like it's just a way you approach.
Yeah, it depends what you want. It's like your method is right and his method is right.
There's
just
nothing
what
wrong
people
with
want.
either one. I kind of wish I'd played his game a little bit.
Right.
Because it can be overwhelming.
Do you ever feel, as big as you are, disconnected from comedy because because like the kind of good old days of it for you, or like you live in the nostalgia where it was like it's still about the comedy now, but you know what I mean, when it was like literally like comedy, it's just about comedy, where now you've gone to a height where it's like it's arenas, it's big crowds, the comedy clubs are few and far between type thing. Do you feel like a disconnect ever?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like sometimes I romantically look at like dudes hustling and go, that's right, man, that's what it's about. Because I have so much on my plate, meaning like just ticket counts in general. I have a staff here, but I have a staff when we tour on the road of like 27.
Right.
And I need to make sure I cover everyone's nut, and I have a stage that I've rented that's really expensive, and like there's just a lot of overhead. And sometimes if you let it, comedy will be the last thing you think about.
That's what
and then you go, I during Fully Loaded, I don't mean that I phoned it in, but I definitely did. I definitely wasn't taking fun chances that a comedian takes. I was telling what I knew worked because I had so much that I had to deal with on a daily basis.
Right.
Setting lineups, people's schedules, getting talent from one place to another, getting talent accommodated, planning activities during the day, making sure we had mushrooms, making sure we had alcohol, making sure making sure my film crew was there and everyone was accounted for, making sure we had edits, watching edits, making sure edits got posted. Like, it was such a fucking thing where I was like, where I actually told, I had a conversation with my agent manager, and I was like, if we're going to do another special, like, I got to get out of arenas because it's just too much. I want to just go back and do like a nice 18-month theater tour. Yeah. And really focus on the material and just be like, theaters are set up and plug and play. Right. You show up in the tour bus, you do 2 shows. You don't have to worry about ticket sales. Everything sells out fucking in pre-sale. Right. I mean, when you're in an arena, they kind of never sell out. Right. There's always tickets available somehow. If you start selling good, they'll add another show. Right. Right. Because they always have money. They want to set it up that they always have money to make. Right. So like they'll just, pull back more curtains. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah. Let's fucking run until the wheels come off. Yeah. So I would love to get like a theater tour where you just like, everything's clean and you're just like out for like 18 months. Right. Run the material. Right. Work the material. Don't think about promoting shows. Don't think about anything. I would love that. And it's wild because 10 years ago, it's not like you were always aiming for this. This just happened naturally for you. I never wanted to do theaters. I wanted to do clubs. I was like, I'm a club comic. I'm fun in the clubs. I was so good in clubs. Like I'm a good comic, I believe. But man, I will tell you the things first of all, I never had a set. I went up and I mean this respectfully. Like I watch dudes do crowd work clips these days. I was like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, dude, comedy 15 years ago was, I'm saying, the Wild West, because no one got specials. Right. And then once everyone started getting specials, then you started focusing on the material. Right. And everyone started like really kind of dialing in their chops and then like little tricks. Like I've seen them in some people's special when they'll pretend to do crowd work. Go, where are you from? Oh yeah, Jersey. And then they tell their Jersey joke. Right. No, you can't do that. I couldn't do that. You can't do that in a theater. You can. Yeah. But like you can't do that in a theater the way you could in clubs. I mean, every joke I had was started with a crowd work, and then I'd tell you my bit and it seemed improvised, and it was like, well, this guy's fucking brilliant. Yeah, I used to be a much better comic. Yeah. Do you feel more connected or less connected to your kids now that they're older? More, way more. Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good to hear. Way more, because I know them. I've known them for so long. It sounds silly, but their nuances are hysterical to me. Right. Like hysterical. Right. Like they're little things that they try to get away with, I find fucking comical. Right. Like Isla today, I had to drive her to school. I had to work out at 9, and I had this at 10:30, and so I had a tight schedule. And she goes, hey, can you take me to school today? And I'm like, no. She was like, please. And I was like, okay. She can you get a matcha? And I'm like, you're lactose intolerant. She was like, I know, but I only drink half. And then we're halfway there, and I look, and it's gone. She goes, I'm not feeling so good. I go, and I just, but it's so, and then she even goes, if she only drank half, it's still going to fuck her up. Yeah. She goes, let's turn around, let's go home. I was like, no, we're at school. Yeah. Like, she goes, I got to take a shit, take me home. And I was like, take a shit at school. Now, Georgia, her sister's going into surgery, right? She had surgery today. And Isla texts Leanne in Georgia, hey, I need someone to pick me up. I got to take a shit. Georgia's like, I am going into surgery right now. Yeah. Georgia and Isla goes, but my stomach hurts. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Dude, the fucking, Isla has gotten to a place where Isla, because she's so like me, and Georgia and I butt heads like crazy. Like we are identical. You'll see that like one will pick, you have 2, right? 2. One will be like your wife and one will be like you. Right. And oddly enough, you'll team up with the one that's not like you. That's going to be your buddy. Because Leanne and Georgia, fucking thick as thieves. Right. Georgia, when she goes to college, she writes notes around the house where she knows Leanne goes and leaves them for her. Hey mom, I love you. Right. I miss you. I don't get a fucking note. Isla's like, you get a note? I go, no. We don't get fucking notes. No. Not at all. Yeah. How long have we been doing? Oh, we've been on like an hour and a half. Yeah. What time do you show tonight? Tonight I have 8 o'clock. Oh, you're just there tonight and tomorrow? Tonight and tomorrow. Yep. 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. And then you go, because like probably our most Our biggest clip we've ever done was when we both cried when I was drunk in the morning.
Yeah, that was great. And that was all
great.
organic. Somebody messaged me once about that and was like, enough's enough with this stage bullshit. And I'm like, if you think I'm that good of an actor, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, tell him to send that to fucking Hollywood.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was, but I'm curious because I know that I have not, I'm curious. I've had a lot of people that I really respect. You know, that's how I met Israel Adesanya.
How?
He saw that clip.
Oh, really?
And then he hit me up and he was like, yo, this is really awesome. Like, you guys are great dudes and whatever. And that's how I kind of became friends with him. Yeah. But and a lot of people, and I'm being real with you, a lot of black dudes. Yeah. A lot of black dudes hit me up. They're like, this is like the realest shit I've ever seen. Right. As opposed to like, you're right. I've gotten a lot of white cunts. Yeah. That are like, enough. Yeah. Enough. Yeah. Rogan cried about his dog. We get it. Yeah. Yeah. I know. And black people are better. They just, they're easier to get along with. If you go to heaven, I would rather God be a black dude. I want to go to the black part of heaven for sure. If you, I hope Deion Sanders is there. 100%. He's like, play my theme music. Yeah. Dung, dung, dung. Yeah. Did you see that? No. Deion Sanders is the fucking greatest. Wait, we should probably close with, so you said, we talked about it, and you said, does it ever get better? And I said, no, it actually gets worse. Yeah. But I'm curious how you're dealing with, because you're still touring. Yep. You're still just as successful. Yeah. You're working probably the same amount. Like, how are you dealing with it? So I have made a decision now to just be where my feet are. I used to have half my brain at home, half my brain on the road, and that was not doing well for them, and it was not doing well for me. So now I've just made a decision. If I'm here, I'm here. And then when I'm home, I'm home. That's a really... Do you read that in a book or something? Be where my feet are. That's a fucking great statement. I'm sure I read it somewhere, and if it's from somebody's book that I'm misremembering, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm sure I read it somewhere. Be where my feet are. Yeah, be where my feet are, and I'm like, that is just like staying in the present, which is the hardest thing to do, but that's what I do, and I think about like what I want. Like my life is now, like I said, like more about balance, where like if ticket sales and money are down, well, time with that must be because time with my family is up. And so I try to like connect in it that way, but just staying where my feet are, being in the present and doing that and only really doing what I want to do. This idea of being the greatest to ever do it, I want to be that, but to my kids, not to, it's very like, for me, it's like no matter how grandiose we make ourselves, which I think is important. I think our ego is important. I think you have to use that, especially in the type of career we have, athletes, entertainers. Like, you got to be like, I'm going to be the best. Channel it, great. Oh. But it's like, Alexander the Great conquered the whole world, and like then he died one day, and nobody cares. It's over. So it doesn't matter how big. All anyone says about him is he was gay. Well, I'm sure he was. I think he was. I'm sure most Greeks were. I saw the movie. He hooked up with Jared Leto. Yeah, Colin Farrell's gay. Colin Farrell's gorgeous. I saw him in person one time. Yeah. He's gorgeous, and he does the thing 100% of the time. Skinny jeans, tall work boots that are like, man, like they're crisp work boots. I like Colin Farrell. Button shirt to his belly button with a long leather with a silver feather on there, with the fucking hair and the sunglasses and like the bracelets and the rings. He was looking at a house for his sister. And I went room to room and just stared at him. Yeah. Yeah. Smells good too, right? They were like, what do you think about the house? I go, I'll take him. And they're like, what? I was like, I want him. And he's gorgeous. Colin Farrell, gorgeous man, beautiful man, great lips. So I think that's how I think about it now, is just kind of, I try not to put so much pressure on myself, because it's very easy, Instagram and getting off social media. What I realize, it's a comparison tool. That's what social media mostly is you're comparing yourself to others, and then you're comparing yourself to yourself, and it's comparison. Teddy Roosevelt, I think I said this on the last podcast, my favorite quote, Teddy Roosevelt, comparison is the thief of joy. And I'm like, I take that, or I'm human, so I'm still going to compare and all that, but I really try to just only think about, if I'm a good father and the kids have what they want, then I'm successful. It doesn't matter
where my tickets or money is. I use comedy in this as a vehicle to give them a better life and to just, that's what I want. Like, I don't know. And by the way, if you're not that guy, that doesn't mean you're a bad dad. It's just, I just think of my life that way. And maybe it is at times a crutch, because maybe that takes the pain away of me not selling out 5 shows. Cause I'm like, oh, well, don't, you know, yeah, so-and-so sold out 5 shows, but I'm, you know, better because I'm a better dad. So it's all, I think we all do it, but for me, it's like, I just want, the most important thing is the kids and my family. So I'm like, whatever's giving them the best life, I'm happy with. And right now, this is it. But I'm also the type of person where I didn't grow up knowing everything about comedy, dreaming about comedy, knowing everybody's special. I have no idea. When I started doing open mics and meeting like guys that consume comedy, like the Mark Normans of the world, like he's one of the first guys I met at an open mic, like they know everybody's special. They know everything about, and which is beautiful, but I just didn't grow up that way. I kind of just started comedy because I was like, I want to tell fun stories about my dad. Like, that's all I want to do. Is like, I had a relationship with my father where he, you know, didn't live with me. So, and that would make me really upset. So I would, you know, tell stories, you know, my dad would do fun stuff, but then I would also create stories about my dad. Like sometimes my dad wouldn't make the right decision, you know, and I would create this character of a dad that actually did make the right decision, and then tell those stories of like a pseudo version of my father. Like, it's not really my father. It's like this decision I wish he made, and I would put that, and that would be the story and the comedy. So it was like a coping mechanism for me in the beginning, and then it just became my career. But I'm not that guy that's like, I need to live, breathe, sleep comedy. So I'm saying very easily for me, because, you know, I have was a physical therapist. I'm very easily that guy that could slip out of this and just be like, and I wouldn't make a grand announcement. I'm not that. I would just be like, I just do something else now and still stay connected. Like, I don't know why. And maybe that's maybe that is crippling depression. I don't know. But I know that when I hear some of my peers, they're like, I got to go get it. I just don't feel that. I don't know why. And I'm sure that it'll cost me at some point, but I'm just, you know, bracing. No,
I remember Ari knew everyone who was a agent and a manager and a casting agent and like a booker. Ari knew everyone. Tom knew everyone. Like, and I never knew anyone. I never cared. Right. But I did care, meaning like I wished I did, but I could never remember all these people that they knew that were important in the business. And I always felt like it was a detriment to my career. And now looking back, it's not a detriment at all. Like, you go, I just do stand up. I did not come at this. Right. I didn't, like, you're right. Like, you can, death by comparison is a way to do it. And there's a lot of guys that are just killing them. I came at this because I was written up as a party animal. Right. And I was like, this would be a cool job. Yeah. I never gave a fuck I never cared about Woody Allen. Yeah. I've never really. I only saw Woody Allen movies for the first time in my life like 2 months ago. I had no idea what movies he made. Even any directors, I don't know what they're doing. I've never seen, you know, Spaceballs or what. Spaceballs is pretty good. No, I know. I'm sure that these things are great, but I've just never. There's comedy nerds who fucking live, breathe, and eat it. And they're so valuable because they will turn you on to cool shit. Right. It's a cool thing about comedy is once you get into it, you run into some comedy nerds who are like really like get you deep on some stuff. And then there's people who like, I feel like I'm more like of a, I don't know if I'm not Johnny Hustle. Right. Like I'm not Pete Rose. I'm not like watch how hard I'll play. I'm just like, I just want to want to have a good time. Yeah. And I showed up here because I wanted to have a good time and like seemed like you could drink and no one said anything. And it seemed like if you wanted to smoke pot, no one was going to say anything. And if you want to say wild shit, they were going to be cool with it. And I don't, it's an interesting take because what you're saying is, like I watch some dudes who it looks like they don't enjoy the comedy part of it. Yeah, which is like the whole reason why we started is because it was like just cathartic for me. So it's like, I don't want to let the business like overwhelm me because the people around us it's their job to have it overwhelm you so they can make the most money. And I'm not begrudging them for that. It's all I get it. But for me now, I'm just like, I try to control my output, not my outcome. It's like, I'm just trying to control what I can do, what I'm outputting each day, and then the outcome will be what it will be. As long as your kids are good, that's my only barometer. It's like the children are happy, the children are healthy, they're safe, my family is good, my girlfriend and I are as connected as we've ever been in our life. So then who cares if it's a bonus that I
have 10,000 tickets sold in New York City. That's amazing. But I'm not going to, that's not going to be the thing.
It can't be the thing that defines you.
It does not define.
One day you, it just,
one day, guess what? We're all going back to the comedy clubs.
Did the Madison Square Garden, did Madison Square Garden, and then one year he did the theater.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he had some issues going on, but it happens. It happens to everyone.
Dane Cook, Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, it'll come down for you. But that doesn't devalue you.
Probably not me, but like, I think a lot of people will see it. Segura, it's happening too. But you're right. I've enjoyed every aspect. And if you told me, like, I keep going back to hilarities. I go, if you told me
club.
Next time I go to Cleveland, I can't play Rocket Mortgage, I got to do hilarities, I'd be like, are we adding late shows?
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm definitely drinking if we're doing that.
Oh my God. That pizza in the basement? Oh, hell yeah. They give you a fucking baseball bat with your name on it.
I get angry when people don't want to sit and hang after the, I'm like romanticizing about comedy clubs right now. Well, good, man. I fucking...
Yeah, by the way, I don't know, like sometimes like I'll say something like that and people be like, that may work for you, but there's other people and you're got this career and what about me? And I'm like, I don't, whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you what works for me. You can absolutely hate what I do, but it's like Deion Sanders says, it's like, I don't really, it's not that I don't care about your opinion means I'm dismissing you. It's just like, I can't let your opinion affect me. I feel like this works for me now. I feel good now. And it's interesting. I feel, you ready for this? This is a weird thing. I actually want to bring this up to you because of how successful you are. So I wonder if you ever felt this. So I feel, like I said, I'm a New York guy. I've Radio City, the most iconic venue in New York, sold out. And then the next night, the theater at Madison Square Garden almost sold out. So for a New Yorker, it's like, holy shit, right? It's like, this is the pinnacle. This is what, it's beautiful to sell tickets in other cities, but hometown, that's it. That's what I'm going for. So things are going good. Other cities aren't as good, but New York City, the pinnacle, the dream, it's you can't believe it. And I feel the most connected with my family and my kids and my home life and me as a person as I ever have in the last, let's call it 10 years, but the most disconnected from comedy. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not even in the business anymore, which I know that I am because of the shows I'm doing, but I'll say to myself, well, you sold those tickets 4 months ago when you were in the business. Now you're not. And so it's this thing where I don't know like what it is. So I feel connected on one front and disconnected on another. And maybe that's just life. Maybe this is what life is, the balancing act that you'll have to, only rarely will you fire on all cylinders. But
I just said that. I just said that to my wife.
Yeah.
I said that if I take any time off, and right now I'm coming at the end of 5 or 7 weeks of taking off. Okay, that's significant amount of time, man. It's a lot of time for me. For us, for guys like us. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, granted, I've been podcasting but I have not been on the road. The road is different. I'm doing stand up, but I'm just doing it at clubs, and I said to my wife, I was 5 days, my first 5 days off. On the 5th day, I said to her, I lost it. I'm out of comedy. Like I'm disconnected from comedy. I don't feel like I do it anymore. 5 days in. Holy shit. 5 days into, and she said to me, I said, I don't even feel like does anyone even remember me? Like, I mean, like, I feel like you were being serious. I was being dead serious. Yeah. I was depressed and I was in bed. Now, granted, I also hadn't drank in 5 days. So there's probably a lot of things going through my head. And she said to me, you just 6 days ago, you were in Montreal and you won Comedian of the Year. You just won Comedian of the Year. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but that was 6 days ago. Right. And she was like, you're being serious. I go, I'm being dead fucking serious. Right. What am I doing this year? Like, I got tickets to move in Raleigh. I got tickets to move in Atlanta. Right. I got Houston, Dallas. I got back-to-back Houston and Dallas. I got to move tickets there. I always am looking forward, but I think that's what keeps you young. You know, Joe Paterno died like 2 months after he retired. And I was like, I go, maybe I'm just a shark. And right. I just got to swim. I got to keep swimming and keep moving. And now that I'm about to head out on the road, I've gotten so comfortable. I go, I kind of like being on the outskirts. Right. I don't know. You know, I stopped looking at people's stories because I'd always look at everyone's stories. Sure. Like, and then I just stopped because it was making me depressed. I was like, God damn it, man, that's a big fucking theater. When did Shane do a show with fucking Chappelle. That's cool as fuck with Aziz. Aziz was there? Oh, wait, I want to know what, like in comedy, I go,
see, that's very interesting to me that you see that stuff, and even you at your level is like, in a way comparing where you're like, how come I didn't go to Chappelle's show, where it's like, you can do this.
Oh, no, I want to hear I love Chappelle's easily top 5 hangs, top 2 hangs in comedy that you're going to get. And I was like, and Shane was with him, and I was like, fuck, I wish I'd texted Shane. He was with Aziz on Sorry. Like, what did Shane and Aziz talk about? Because I know Chappelle likes both of them. They both got canceled. What the fuck? Like, and so I just saw that today. And I was like, I want to get back into comedy. But then once you're in comedy, my anxiety disappears.
Right.
I'm just on the tour bus.
Interesting. So when you have all those things, when you're saying, I got to move tickets around, I got to do this, there's not a part of your brain that's like, why do I want to like live in that pressure all the time? You look at it the opposite way and say, this is what actually gives me life.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It makes me, I think it keeps me young. I think it makes me, if I could fucking somehow fold health into there.
Right.
Because there's a little bit of this little sparkle of Tinkerbell that goes like, hey man, you just landed off a 6-hour flight. Let's have cocktails on the bus. And you're like, wait, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. Maybe the little bar of mushrooms before you go to bed. Huh? Wait, I thought we were going to be healthy. Fuck that. Be healthy tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I could just get that under control.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a mess, Chris.
No, you're not.
I'm a mess.
We started in the beginning of the podcast saying this is the best you felt. No carbs or sugar in 30 days. You're doing good.
And my head is really clear.
You haven't shit in the back of your legs in months.
Yeah. My shoes look tight.
Your shoes are fucking tight.
My legs look good.
You look good. This is the healthiest I've seen. Your skin looks good.
My skin looks good.
You do look good, dude.
Your skin, when you went on Rogan and you were like, I haven't drank in like a month or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I texted you because maybe I didn't, but man, I was like, God, he looks fucking good.
Thank you.
And you know, some people go like, fuck, dude, you stop drinking, he's no fun. I like being inspired by people that take like big change, like they go, I'm going to change some stuff around.
Yeah, I don't have any rules with me where I am all this at this time and I am all this at that time. It's like even somebody, listen, if you got to get sober, I'm not you, I'm saying in general, somebody's got to get sober and they can't touch the alcohol for 30 years for the rest of their life because they know what it does to them. Good for you. That's a strict rule. Good for you.
Yeah.
For me, I don't have that problem with alcohol. So it's like, if I don't drink for 3 months, I'm not saying like I can break it right now and have a cocktail and it's like, I'll be fine because I don't want to. I think if you're so strict with yourself and so rigid, eventually
something's
going to fucking snap.
Well,
got to be
what
flow.
What you just said was it was a moment that I had like 2 days, 3 days before I got started this little health kick. I said to Tom, and I was partying. I was partying a lot. And I said to Tom, what if I told you could never have a drink again? He'd be like, I don't care. And I went, wait, hold on. You don't care? And he goes, no. I said, you could never have another drink. And he goes, I don't think I've had a drink in like 3 months. And I went, well, you haven't had a drink in 3 months? And he was like, maybe I have. I don't know. I went, wait, you don't know? And he was like, no. I said, when was the last time you smoked pot? And he was like, fuck, I could not tell you. Right. I said, like a cigar? And he was like, yeah, like 2 weeks ago with my neighbor. And I was like, wait.
Right.
I was like, there's a world that happens where you don't know if you have had a drink. If I haven't had a drink in 3 months, I would argue 6.5 million people will know. I will tell that on I'll tell that on Two Bears. I'll say it every podcast I'm on. You will know I have not had a drink in 75 days. I will tell that to everyone. It will be on my Instagram feed. I will do a promo video about it. I will be selling. I will do. Everyone will know.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that was a cool thing for me to hear. Because like,
yeah, but maybe they're like, for me, I agree. I'm more like with Tom. Like if you told me I could never have alcohol again, I would be like, I could deal with that. If you told me I could never have muffins again, now it's a little bit like, I don't know that I could live. But so the same power alcohol has over you, muffins have over me. But it's true. It's funny, but it's true. So it's like people want to go all in and be like, I'm better than you because I don't drink. It's like, well, that's just not your vice, man.
It's not your thing.
Something else is your thing that you don't give a fuck about.
You can't fuck chicks on the road. Wait, what kind of some fucking waitresses?
Yeah, I gotta start fucking guys. I'm not gay.
Dude, I love you to death.
I love you,
You're
man.
the fucking best. You really are the best. I'm really glad. Out of all the things I'm happy for, I'm happy I started a podcast because I got to know, legit got to know dudes like you.
Yeah.
I think you're so fucking talented.
I love you.
But you're so fun to just hang with.
Yeah, I love you, and I love you more. And I love you, and I fucking know you're not wearing underwear.
And you know I mean it.
I do know you mean it. I really do know you mean it. That's the thing. Like, I don't think you say stuff to us like that's just like, oh, I'm just saying it to be nice. I'm like, you genuinely mean that. We could all feel that. I'm
going to listen to the 1975 tonight. I'm going to smoke a joint and sit on my back porch and listen to the 1975.
I want you to listen to the 1975 and wreck that toilet bowl.
I'm going to fucking light it up.
I want you to light it up.
I'm going to tag the 1975, and you know they won't get shitting on the back of your legs.
Actually, they will. I thought that they were like guys that were like emo. No, they are like us. They have like minds. Like, they're fucking fun dudes to like talk to.
They're like, Rufus Wainwright's a pussy.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. They know. They talk wild shit.
They talk wild shit.
They do. It's fun.
I love that the guy came out and he's like, first of all, I'm a fucking fan. Okay, like I know who you are. I like you, man. Like,
yeah, dude. It's fucking dude. The lead singer in 1975 will just—he's not even gay. He'll just randomly bring a guy on stage and make out with him in front of 10,000 people
for real,
for no reason. They banned him from Malaysia.
There goes my opening bit.
Yeah. They banned him in Malaysia because of that. They had to like escape Malaysia because he was just fucking making out with dudes. And I'm like, yeah, I like that guy.
Well, I know what I'll be Googling tonight.
Yeah. Front row seats.
Fuck yeah. All right. Have a great
weekend.
Baby. Thank you,
Bubs.